Excellent customer service is very important.
Customers want to feel that you respect them, that you are there for them.
Just making sure the customer is satisfied.
I like the fact that I can communicate personally, not just over the phone.
At the end of the day, they know that they have that one person they can actually call on.
You want to treat that person how you would want to be treated.
We work 7 days a week, 365 days of the year. I try to make every experience a wow experience for the customer.
The Attorney General gives the latest on the alleged BEC bribe taker. Upset Kemp Road residents speak out over crime. Plus, doubts expressed about the future of Bahamar employees. We've got those stories and more coming up tonight. I'm Dana Smith, and NB12 starts right now. Happy news tonight. Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson says a decision on the alleged BEC bribe scandal will be announced in short order. Her comments come weeks after she said the identity of the alleged BEC bribe taker will soon be revealed. When asked about the likelihood of someone being charged in connection with the matter, Maynard Gibson would only say her advisors are from the Department of Public Prosecutions. Vanik 2 reports.
One week after police handed over their report on the alleged BEC bribe taker to the Attorney General's office, Attorney General Allison Maynard Gibson has confirmed that her office has completed its review of that file and a decision is imminent.
The file was turned over to the Office of the Attorney General, and that I was waiting for the advice of my advisors on whether they feel that the investigation is complete. I understand that yesterday evening I had the final advice from my advisor. I came straight to Cabinet this morning, so I haven't had the benefit of reviewing that. But from what I've been told, I think that I think I can use the word imminent.
Police launched an investigation into the allegation that a Bahamian official accepted $325,000 in bribes to swing BEC contracts to a French company over a decade ago. As part of the process, Bahamian investigators traveled to the U.S. to conduct inquiries. Earlier this month, the Attorney General said the matter is being taken very seriously and the name of the alleged BEC bribe taker would be revealed. However, the question remains, will anyone be charged in connection with the matter? Maynard Gibson said that question will be answered very soon.
Let me read the advice, but I believe that there will be something said imminently, based upon what I'm hearing from my advisors.
Will there be a prosecution imminently?
Well, my advisors are in the Department of Public Prosecutions. I think we'll be hearing something imminently.
In June, Maynard Gibson confirmed that U.S. authorities provided her with the name of the Bahamian who allegedly received the bribe. This latest development comes 9 months after the U.S. Department of Justice reported that French company Alstom agreed to pay $772 million to resolve allegations that it bribed high-ranking foreign government officials for lucrative projects. Reporting for NB12, I'm Voinik Toot.
Kemp Road residents were up in arms last night over what they say is rampant crime in their area. At a town hall meeting, members of that community said they are fed up with the crime hotspot it has become and want a solution. Kyle Joaquin reports.
From emotional stories to bad experiences with police officers, residents of this Kemp Road area came here tonight to share their feelings on the issues affecting their community. For some, it was an opportunity to vent, and for others, it was that one chance to speak directly with the Commissioner of Police or the Minister of National Security.
All their joints and they smoke, there's no respect. They curse, they gamble, they sell their drugs, and the area is getting congested. You have to stop and let them move, and they take their own time to move the cars so that they can pass. It's been horrible.
Government cannot help us. The only reason government getting all the backlash and everything for the crime situation because y'all run a campaign saying y'all the solution to crime. But nobody else is the solution to crime. The solution to crime starts from in the homes, where these parents are and they take their responsibility.
Residents of the Kemp Road area say they've had enough of the crime that's been rampant in their community year after year. Some of them recommended an amnesty period where guns could be turned in or after-school centers for children. But for some present at last night's town meeting at Kemp Road Ministries, they wanted more police in the area, especially for the school children.
Please, Mr. Greenslade, please, sir. I know a lot of police officers right now. Please help, especially when school is out. My wife had to stop me. They're fighting in the school, in the road. I called the police several times, no car come yet.
There are parents in our community that I think need some whipping. Okay. Because the children are running wild. Where are the parents? We need to address it.
And then there was the cry for help from this single mother of 10 whose electricity is off and said she recently had to make the tough decision of deciding which one she would send to school because she could only afford uniform and supplies for one.
See, I can sit down and I can laugh and I can sit in my little corner, but sometimes you better open your mouth and talk, because it really, I feel like I've been strong for so long. I had to go and hide and I couldn't cry, because guess what? When the man was beating me with the cutlass and throwing me out into the traffic and doing all of these stuff, still I had to stand strong, because my children was catching it too. So still I had to stand strong. But guess what? Y'all can't even imagine how tired I is right now. I'm tired, I'm exhausted. I'm to the point where I'm ready to put them in a home because I don't want my children to suffer.
Residents also had an issue with police.
Everybody is criminals, you know. And not every citizen here is criminals. We are law-abiding citizens, and sometimes you have to give respect. To give respect, respect is earned, not given. And if I could respect you as an officer of the law, then you can respect me as a citizen of the Bahamas.
So if I go on you to say something to you, out of concern of what I've done in my community, you shouldn't call my name. My name shall never be published that it's me who called you. Because then what you do, you put me in my family life in jeopardy. So why should I try to help the police when the police is not my friend?
One major issue for some was the perception that there are too many corrupt officers on the police force. Police Commissioner Alison Greenslade revealed that his intolerance for corruption has now landed him in court by an ex-officer whom he said did the most egregious thing.
And I told him the best thing I could do for him was to pack his little hip up, put him on a mail boat, Mr. Lightburn, and send him back to the family island that he came from, because I knew his grandparents. I was a little boy, but I know his people. I said, because if you stay now, so you can make jail, or somebody can kill you. And while you're at it, take our uniform off now. Well, he sent me a summons this morning to take me to court. No problem. We'll see you in court. He said I'm an evil, wicked man, and I took his job from him. So he's taking me to court.
And to show how serious he was in ridding the force of corrupt officers, the commissioner produced a document showing how another officer is now behind bars for a crime he committed as well. Greenslade said he's not making any complaints, but while there are some bad apples, the vast majority of officers are decent people. National Security Minister Dr. Bernard Nottage said notes were taken and all recommendations will be taken into consideration. However, he said the only way to fix crime would be for everyone to help.
We will not do it without you, and it will be difficult doing it with you. But you ought not to be willing to live in your community in any degree of fear, because you can solve the problem. If you know and you tell us, we can help you and we can transform these communities.
Reporting for NB12, I'm Kyle Joaquin.
Well, Greenslade said he is not leaving Twitter anytime soon. He was responding to critics like attorney Wayne Monroe, who last week recommended the commissioner get off social media and get back to policing. Well, last night, the commissioner explained why he's so active on the social media site and why he's not leaving anytime soon.
Because the commissioner is the commissioner for all the people. What you say? Hey, church? I can say that in church? Yeah. So I don't understand, Minister, I have to say it. I don't understand why anybody would take great exception to the fact that we tell good stories. I'm going to continue to cheerlead decent, hardworking police officers. I'm the cheerleader. And I'm going to continue to tweet for the whole world to know what good things we're doing.
The commissioner has been quite active on Twitter over the past few weeks, posting activities and arrests being made by officers. And even while at the crime town hall meeting last night in the Kemp Road area, Commissioner Greenslade said he was doing a bit of tweeting.
When this is done, I love them dearly. I'm going to do my little tweeting. Some people are mad with me tweeting, so I'll do some more tweeting tonight. Actually, you should carry this. I tweeted the minister standing in a sacred pulpit looking good. I tweeted Mr. Lightburn. So that's a nice balanced scorecard. I tweeted Mr. Lightburn. I tweeted Minister Nottage.
While the Commissioner of Police did not agree with the release of 9 Bahamian men from prison in Cuba to be sent home, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell said the government has no right to refuse a Bahamian citizen from coming back to the Bahamas despite previous incarceration in a foreign country. Simone Davis has that story.
After the Cuban government pardoned 9 Bahamian men who were incarcerated in Cuba, the Foreign Affairs Minister asserted that the Department of Immigration does not have the right to reject their arrival into the Bahamas because they are Bahamian citizens with a clean criminal record in the country.
I'd just like to stick with what the facts of it are. And the facts are that these are 9 people who were unconditionally pardoned by the Cuban government. They're Bahamian citizens. So once they're unconditionally pardoned, they're free. They can't remain in Cuba. So the place for which they have to return is their home country, which is the Bahamas. And there's no way that we could, by any reason or means, exclude someone who's a Bahamian citizen from coming back home. And those are just the facts of it. Now, the security implications, of course, the Commissioner of Police would be sensitive to that, and perhaps the special branch will be doing what is necessary for the security implications that come with that. But there's no way they could be legally excluded from the country.
Commissioner of Police Allison Greenslade expressed some concerns last week, stating that he does not support the release of the 9 men and wish they stayed in Cuba where they rightfully belonged. Greenslade said they should have spent their full time in prison for the crimes they committed, and the Bahamas should not be a safe haven for them. Mitchell, however, explained that the men have committed no crimes in the Bahamas and deserve to walk as free men.
In this case, that didn't apply because these people were freed unconditionally and pardoned by the Cuban system. So that meant that there not only was the offense for which not only were they finished with their sentence, but they were actually pardoned out of their legal system. So in a sense, the slate was wiped completely clean. So just like any other Bahamian citizen, they're free to come home.
The Cuban government pardoned 3,522 prisoners during Pope Francis's visit last week. Although it is unclear what crimes the 9 Bahamian men committed, the Cuban government did not pardon anyone who was serving time for serious crimes, including murder, rape, or drug trafficking. Mitchell said it's important to understand the difference between unconditional pardon and treaty transfers.
And I think that where there may have been some misunderstanding is that these were not treaty transfers. There's a difference between an unconditional pardon and a treaty transfer. And I mean this, a treaty transfer is someone who is in prison in Cuba or the United States or some other country, and they apply to leave that country's jail system and come and serve out their sentence in the Bahamas. It is the mechanism for accomplishing that requires first the approval of the country where they're jailed, and then secondly the approval of the country, the Bahamas, that they're coming back.
Mitchell also confirmed that all 9 men returned to the Bahamas last week. Reporting for NB12, I'm Simone